Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk through the things you've been working on.
I appreciate it too. It's good joining you, and we're really excited about the award and just being able to shine a spotlight on the smaller provider.
Absolutely. Well, that's a big part of what we do. So, if you don't mind, we can just jump right in because I've got a few things I'm really curious about.
Sure.
Awesome. So, first thing I think that just kind of jumped out to me, looking over the company and kind of reading through some of the things you've been working on, you've maintained the same rates for 30 years, right? Which is pretty remarkable in the telecom industry, I would say. How have you sort of managed to keep your prices stable while also sort of continually investing in the improvement of your infrastructure and services?
That's a great question. Our focus has always been on helping our community and customers, and pricing is key to that. Um, we've kept our pricing stable over the years, 30 years in fact, which is a big feat, um, because we keep reinvesting in our technology. This has enabled us to offer our customers new speed plans and services through upgrades, which drives additional revenue, excuse me, rather than increasing the price of their existing plans like our competitors often will do every year. So it's really about reinvesting and making sure that we maintain that focus on helping our customers.
Absolutely. Just a quick note, sorry. I'm hearing a bunch of noise. Is
Yes,
that,
I'm hearing.
can you hear me? Okay. That was really strange. It looks like that might have somehow been on my end, even though I'm in a perfectly silent room. So no worries. We should be able to just jump right back in from there.
Okay.
Cool. That was a great answer. So awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to jump in on the next question and then we'll cut in from there. So, you've mentioned providing free connectivity to nonprofits, seniors, and also veterans. Can you share sort of a specific story or example of how this policy has sort of positively impacted an individual or an organization in the communities that you serve?
Sure. I mean, we're proud to be the ISP of choice for some of our community pillars, the hospital, state and county law enforcement, municipalities, universities, public schools, the list goes on. But it's our belief in connecting causes, doing great work in our communities that we're most proud of, I'd say. We connect our local civic center at no charge, the Symphony, so many nonprofit organizations, and watching how the connectivity we provide really helps these folks make a bigger impact is so rewarding. There's not one individual story. Over 30 years, quite frankly, there's too many stories. But what it comes down to is watching our team not just build a network that we're proud of, but watching how that network and our commitment to providing access to that network has shaped our community through these causes, through these charities. Um, I guess one story I could say is that we had a woman in the middle of nowhere, just outside of Helena, which is the middle of nowhere, um, up on a rocky mountain, call me, consistently for months, maybe years, just really explaining that they just didn't have any broadband. They really needed someone to come in and be their hero. And so we took some steps to partner with our local power utility company. And after a year of a lot of hard work, we were able to not only bring fiber broadband up this mountain to this small community, but because of how much that community pitched in to help us do it, and because we had some partners that were making it affordable, we didn't charge most of those customers for the first year. These are the things that we're able to do as a small company that's focused on giving back rather than just the bottom.
I love that. I think that story actually really encapsulates one of my favorite aspects about your business model and what you guys do, which is that you have a history of deploying towers in these really small communities, right? Sometimes as small as 10 customers. I mean, that's extremely telling to me. And I think it really goes to show that a lot of the work in closing the digital divide is really doing that sort of work, right? Of, not avoiding people who have long been ignored by the sort of internet deserts that we have that are persistent across America. Can you sort of just speak to how you balance that commitment to rural connectivity while also still running a business at the end of the day?
That's a great question, and it's not easy. Some of our towers are hundreds of miles in the middle of nowhere. But I think that's the point, right? If Montana Internet didn't step up to help these rural customers, they wouldn't have had access all these years. And so we learned a long time ago that if ROI is all that matters, we wouldn't be able to make the type of impact that really drives this business, and helps impact the lives of so many Montanans. So sometimes ROI goes out the window and we find a way to make it work. And that's the best way to describe it. Sometimes we lean into, hey, that worked out better than we thought. We were able to source tech and the equipment through grants or gifts. And we make it work for those 10 folks that don't have any other option. So it's just something we've always done and we don't shy away from it. In fact, I think that's what drives us is getting those phone calls from folks that really need us. And instead of going, the math doesn't math, we typically will find a way to make it work. So it's what drives us.
And I mean, frankly, I'm glad it does because, again, so much of this work is really down at these individual community levels, right? I mean, we spend a lot of time talking about the national perspective at BroadbandNow, for good reason. That's an important perspective to sort of highlight. But a lot of this work, again, ends up happening by providers like yourself, where you're doing these sort of, you're solving these long-standing puzzles, right? These areas that just have been looked over and looked over. And so, I think looking ahead, this is really the task set for all of us, I think, with the digital divide, right? We're at this point where the majority of the US is serviced by some form of broadband. There are these persistent deserts that still exist, right? And the work is getting increasingly hard to sort of fill those gaps. So whenever you look ahead, I suppose, just how do you plan to sort of maintain the things that got Montana Internet this far, right? The consistent pricing, the community-minded approach. How do you plan to maintain those things as you continue to expand? I mean, I've heard about things such as your new fiber offerings, the 6 gigahertz wireless offerings. All these things are really exciting and present the sort of constantly changing nature of the internet connections we rely on. What's your plan going forward?
That's a great question. I think in order for us to maintain our pricing model and our community focus, we have to keep reinvesting in our network. By adding 6 gigahertz, which increases our ability to provide faster speed plans wirelessly, by expanding our backbone fiber network as well as our distribution fiber network, we're able to pass more homes and build more revenue. So taking that revenue and then reinvesting it right back into the community, into the network, into our employees. This is what's going to continue the mission of Montana Internet for the years to come. I mean, I can't say it enough. One of the things that makes us unique and puts us in a great position to do this work is we don't have a venture capital firm breathing down our neck. We don't have shareholders that are looking for that 1,000x return. Our 100 shareholders from 30 years ago got paid back fivefold over the years, and they're all in it with us to make this thing less of a profit center and more of a community center. And so we're, like I said, in a really unique position to keep this up and grow our ISP while we're making a difference. And I think that's what it boils down to.
Less of a profit center, more of a community center. I love that. I think that encapsulates the work you're doing. And frankly, Josh, just really appreciate it. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to shine a light on that work. I think it's incredibly important. Just really appreciate your chance to talk about it.
I appreciate it too, Tyler. Nice to join you.